I don't know if you managed to catch Chris Murphy's comments just before we brought you in, but calling this a mistake and suggesting it's time for a revaluation of the US alliance with Saudi Arabia. I mean, how could the US react to this in that context, but also particularly when Biden is trying to alleviate pressure at the pump, particularly ahead of the midterms?
I guess you brought the main point is the midterm elections. We all know that gasoline prices are an important element for the elections, and in that perspective, all the parties want to see lower prices. On the other hand, what we have seen is different interventions already by the U.S. administration, which irritated also the OPEC players, such as the massive release from the strategic oil reserves. There is ongoing talks about bans on exports, but all of these measures will backfire to some extent. I guess what is something that the world needs to accept is that oil demand keeps rising and that we need also to have higher investment in new oil productions to ensure that the market stays in balance. Back in 2018, such things probably wouldn't have happened because U.S. oil production would have grown very quickly and offset the power that OPEC Plus has at the moment.
And Giovanni, where do you see prices going? I mean, could we see them returning to $100 a barrel? And if that's the case, what will that mean, I suppose, for sticky energy inflation, but also in terms of perhaps complicating and undermining those monetary policy efforts we're seeing around the world?
So essentially, we keep a positive outlook. So we expect prices to move back above $100 a barrel for Brent over the coming months and stay above that level. And essentially, here we still see the market suffering from the end of the SPR releases, which at the moment keep prices in check, but also the ban from the G7 countries, the European Union on Russian oil, which will trigger some dislocation in the market and result in lower production. Obviously, this can be offset then by higher production from OPEC Plus at a later point. But essentially, this pressure coming from the energy space will, in our view, not dissipate on the inflation side.